Hi everyone, this is Honey from In My Restless Dreams, and I'm very excited. This is my first video under my In My Restless Dreams account, and it's something that this was very spur of the moment, and this might not be the cleanest of discourses to have on gaming because I have no script. This is just kind of my thoughts and something that I just wanted to say and put it out there on YouTube and on Instagram. Because I think it needs to be said. I think it's something that needs to be appraised. And so I want to talk about Alan Wake 2. Now, Alan Wake 2 came out recently. It just came out October 27th of this year, which is 2023. And I myself was not an Alan Wake fan before. The reason why is because I didn't play the first Alan Wake game until 4 days before is when I completed it. I think I completed the first Alan Wake game. I played Alan Wake Remastered on the PS5. And Alan Wake, when it first came out 13 years ago, was a game that I think I was probably 12 at the time. So it was something that didn't appeal to me. And then when I tried it, I just had a hard time maybe figuring out the controls. So it was one of those games that I had picked up, tried, and then ended up bringing back to GameStop. But I had heard of it, and especially as I got older, really getting into the Silent Hill and really diving deeper into survival horror, Alan Wake was a title that frequently came up in conversations. It was kind of like in the midst of, Silent Hills and Resident Evils, Alan Wake would pop up here and there. And, I myself, I like to write in my free time. So as I grew older, Alan Wake became more of a option for me. It became more of a, like, oh, you know what, maybe I will play it. And I ended up seeing the trailer for Alan Wake 2. And visually, I thought it was incredible. I have a huge adoration, and I'm a huge collector of films and movies. I also do have a film and movie channel, but I like to keep my gaming stuff and my movie stuff and my own personal life stuff different from each other. But with that being said, it had this huge appeal after seeing the trailer. I believe the trailer came out last year. And I was blown away by it, and I was like, you know what? I have to play Alan Wake before I play Alan Wake 2, because I don't think I'm going to appreciate it as much. And lo and behold, I got Alan Wake 2 Remastered. I played it. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was really fun. It felt fresh and new. Felt like I hadn't played a game like that before, at least in my years of gaming. There's probably games maybe from, 15, 10, 20 years later or before that maybe have some semblance to it. But for me, it felt very fresh and new, especially playing Alan Wake within 2023. It felt fresh and new. And I enjoyed it. I was very curious of how this was going to conclude or expand in Alan Wake 2. And so I tried to avoid as many spoilers as possible, and I went into Alan Wake 2. And the biggest thing that I can say about Alan Wake 2 is, and this might sound weird, and I will explain it a little bit more, but as a Silent Hill fan, thank you, Remedy, for Alan Wake 2. The reason why I say this is because I am a Silent Hill fan. Now, I'm not someone, due to my age, that got into Silent Hill, 20 years ago during its original release. I, fell in love with it many, many years later on. And I, like many other Silent Hill fans today, are waiting disappointedly for Silent Hill 2 and anything else into continuations of Silent Hill. And I consider myself lucky. I consider myself lucky that I am a newer generation of Silent Hill fans, because I cannot imagine being one of the old school, like there's always a comment or a tweet that says Silent Hill fans suffer the most. And with something like that, that's why I have to think a game like Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 was able to take a good game, keep all of the good and beloved parts of it, expand it, maybe throw in some things that we didn't ask for or wasn't expecting, but still kept what made the original game good, but threw more, added more levels, added more variations. I feel like a lot of times these story games, like single player games, end up spoon feeding a lot of information and you kind of just have it all figured out before the end. I had no idea how Alan Wake 2 was going to end until the very end. I was always, the best meme that I can think of is especially in the Mind Place, where you're able to connect things in the Mind Place and kind of put the evidence on the clipboard, was I felt like the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia moment where he's like, Pepe Sylvia. I felt like that throughout the entire game. And it was so fun. It was so fun because this game felt like I had a direct impact, even though everything was already pre-rendered and everything was already done. As of yet, there is no multiple endings. However, I have heard that there's going to be a new game plus essentially coming out soon that will allow you to have different endings. But it made me feel like I was integral to the gameplay. And what more can a fan want? And as a Silent Hill fan, I say thank you, because Silent Hill and its modern, and I can't really say modern, I not even modern games that they've released, because they haven't released anything. It's been more of the letdowns where the fans don't matter. The fans are not as important. I mean, let's look at Silent Hill Ascension, which is just, as a Silent Hill fan, look, I'm willing to try Origins, I'm willing to try, a Downpour, I'm willing to try all those things. I could not last more than 5 minutes watching Silent Hill Ascension. And it feels so nice to play a game where, one, not only is the creator, Sam Lake, you can clearly see is well respected by Remedy and was given maybe 100% total, freedom control, or creative control, but definitely Remedy put, it's like, who is going to care more about Alan Wake? Not only the original writer, but the fans too. And that is what Remedy catered to. And it's just everything went above and beyond what I was expecting from Alan Wake 2. I thoroughly loved it. It's genuinely, and I really loved the Resident Evil 4 remake. I've played it 3 times already and beaten it 3 times. I love it so much. But genuinely, Alan Wake 2 has to be one of the best games I've played, because of that attention to detail. The overwhelming care for the viewer experience, where also having that overwhelming care for getting out Sam Lake and his team's message of what he wants Alan Wake to be. Everything about Alan Wake was it was stunning. The graphics were incredible. The gameplay, the creep factor of it, where it so balanced. It was a lot of horror and a lot of jump scares, but not too much. It still felt very playable. I felt deeply, connected to not only Alan, but I felt connected to Saga and all the other characters involved. And I really just enjoyed the experience. And my only hope is that Konami can take a hint from companies like Capcom and companies like Remedy, who are paying attention to what the fans want, and also paying homage and paying respect to the original creators. Alan Wake 2 was an incredible experience. If you have not played it, the one thing I do hope, though, for the future is some semblance of a physical release. I would love it, even if it's not a disc. I don't know how you would do that, but even if it's just something tangible that I can have, because it's a game I love. It's a game that I'm proud to play, and I would love to put something of it on display. But I really just wanted to get on here and say, Konami, take a hint. If you haven't played Alan Wake or Alan Wake 2, please give it a shot. I do think playing Alan Wake, or at least knowing the lore enough, is going to really, really help you play the game. But I think it's overall, if you have Alan Wake and Alan Wake 2 bundled together as an experience, I think it's something that you will enjoy. So thank you, Remedy. Thank you, Alan Wake 2, for restoring my faith in knowing that there are some companies and some creators of games that genuinely do care for the fan and the fan experience. And hopefully I can make a video like this someday thanking Konami. Probably not, but maybe one day. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.